Yo, I hate that this chat is. An additional plugin. I want to see Twitch chat. All I want to do is see Twitch chat. Come on. Authorize, yes. There we go. Holy shit. Sorry about that.
This is bad. Even for 1997, this is bad. Why does trying to stay on the track feel like pushing a greased oyster on a warped slip and slide?
If the footage doesn't properly convey the situation, let us explain. The most glaring problem with Sonic R is its controls. They fight against you at every opportunity.
The issue is that turning is weak. Your character's turn is so shallow that you'll constantly be running into obstacles or off the track. The basic D-pad turn is almost completely useless.
So you'll try and use Sonic R's drift option for hard turns, which also doesn't work well.
What the manual calls a drift just harshly leans your character into a turn in either direction, depending on what button combination you push. You don't get the tight control that a real drift would give you. Awkwardly tipping around turns is all you have, so you better learn to really lean into it.
Drifting or power sliding is a big help in similar games. A great example is Super Mario Kart for Super Nintendo. Enter a tight corner and hold either shoulder button as you turn, and you'll be power sliding to victory. One shoulder button did it all with this much older game.
But you know something the Super Nintendo didn't have? An analog gamepad. Perfect for precise movements. Perfect for a racing game.
And guess what Sonic R supported? The Saturn 3D control pad. It had an analog thumbstick and triggers. Surely this fixes all of Sonic R's control problems, right?
Yeah, about that, shame Sonic R was not actually programmed to use analog input.
Wait, what?
The manual states that the game supports it, but the 3D controller's thumbstick is totally underutilized. It acts just like a D-pad, and those special triggers, they work the same as basic shoulder buttons. You get direct on and off inputs.
The manual lies? Professor Azabin, is this true?
Yeah, it's a big move.
Over on the old 64, analog controls made Mario Kart super fun. It gave players a sense of control many had never felt before.
But Sonic has something that Mario of this era could not touch. 2 words. Spin dash. This trademark lightning quick move would fit perfectly in a racer and leave the competition choking on their dust. I bet it's awesome.
Oh my god.
Not so much. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles can all use this move called spin dash roll to get a small boost. But once you're rolling, turning is practically restricted. You just can't do it.
Sonic's iconic spin ability dashed before our eyes.
Really, controls feel like an afterthought here. If you stumble and run into a corner, which you will, guaranteed, There's no reverse button to get out. The only way to get back into the action is to slowly rotate your character until they're facing the right way. Then you can hobble back to the race.
Come on. What do you mean there's no reverse? The Saturn controller has 6 buttons. 6! Isn't at least one of them reverse?
Well, let's see. You have your accelerate, which is B, X and Z change your view, and A, C, and Y all make your racer jump or do a special attack.
3 buttons all make you jump? Why? And what's worse, no options to modify the controls.
It's likely that Sonic Team was attempting a strange hybrid racing platformer. We think standard racing controls and physics were avoided to make room for platforming designs and moves, like jumping. But this isn't the only problem here.
We want to break down the level design, but it's gonna be a little hard to show as the in-game camera feels so floaty and confused.
It clips constantly through objects, characters, walls, pretty much everything.
The camera regularly fails to keep up with the racers while going through loop-de-loops. And when going up an incline, it points straight ahead instead of aiming upwards, so you can't see where you're running.
Again, the gameplay in Sonic R offers a weird combination of genres, platforming and racing. The camera system is obviously confused by this blend, not knowing whether to stick close to the racers or properly show the world around the player.
The execution of these mixed elements just isn't working. It's like a daycare and a petting zoo. Separately, they're fine, but together? Now the goats have a taste for blood.
Our biggest problem with these maps is that we're constantly left confused as to how these races are actually supposed to work. I mean, there's a vague indication of the route the game wants you to follow, but to get all the tasty collectibles, you have to completely ignore that.
Heck, you don't even need to cross the finish line for a lap to count. Just jog on by, flipping the bird. It registers. It's freaking madness.
Yep, the path laid out is
Oh
an
my
illusion.
God, I
A mere
can't do it on this
suggestion of
map,
the
are you
route. Once you
serious?
started the race, you can go anywhere you want as long as you eventually vaguely loop around.
Don't think that's fair? That the designers never intended the course to be abused this way? Well, someone better tell the freaking AI racers.
Look at this. They're avoiding the loop-de-loop and not even passing through the finish line. They know!
Settle it, man.
Some obstacles don't even function properly. Your characters just defy gravity and fly past hurdles like walls. You can just walk vertically straight up a wall like Spider-Man.
Hey, it's Spider-Man. There's a point on the reactive factory level that the game believes you're going in the wrong direction.
You're not. The game is just confused.
These maps are some of the worst designs we've ever seen in a racing game.
It's not just that the levels are confusing and broken. It's that there's really not much going on here.
There's just 5
No
levels
HH.
total. That's the entire game. The levels are as bland and lifeless as boiled celery. Very little of anything is moving outside of the racers, and there's almost nothing for them to interact with. That is, if you can actually see what's coming up ahead of you.
Yeah, the draw distance in this game, folks, it's short.
The first time you play, you won't turn in time. You'll fly up the mountain. Guaranteed. This failure in design greets every new player like a warm, welcoming kick to the tails.
Every main map features plenty of water obstacles, sprinkled everywhere and anywhere.
Even slightly dipping a quill in the water sinks you. There is no gradual descent from the shoreline. You're either on land or in water instantly. It looks ridiculous in action.
But don't worry, Sonic and friends will not drown. They'll just endlessly bubble under the blue, like an Alka-Seltzer tablet. What exactly does the platforming play like?
Well, you collect rings. It is a Sonic game after all, but these rings have nothing to do with health like previous games. In Sonic R, they help you get around the level.
There are locked doors that will open up if you've collected a specific number of rings. These lead to hidden parts of the map. Rings also power accelerators.
Your boost is dependent on how many rings you have. The more rings, the further you go. So, no rings, no boosting.
This mechanic is completely completely unbalanced. It means that the racer out front,
there's
the
two of
one
these
that needs help
open.
the least, has all the advantage. They get to snap up rings before you can because they get to them first. And when they hit an accelerator with all those extra rings, they get a greater boost than you get.
But there's help to collect rings, sort of. There's a power-up called the Thunder Shield, something fans of Sonic 3 would fondly remember.
It draws rings towards you with its super awesome magnetic ability. Best ability ever.
How could they screw that up in Sonic R? Well, your character is going fast. So fast that you don't actually collect the rings. They just kind of trail behind you.
A ring might reach you every so often, but the rest constantly whip around all over.
So you might have the bright idea to tail a character in their cloud of rings waiting for the shield to deactivate. Then you can collect all the rings after they're freed.
Well, after the
Really
shield
only
ends,
have
uncollected
2 outfits
rings
to, like,
phase out of
show.
existence. Oh, you heard me.
For more help gathering rings, you can get ring bonuses from panels scattered throughout the levels, but they're randomized and don't always give you what you want.
You'll be working hard for your precious metal hula hoops because if you don't pick them up, you won't be able to find
Chaos Emeralds. They're scattered around the 4 main maps. You've got to collect them all to unlock one of the secret characters.
emeralds are hidden away behind those big doors that are unlocked by rings. So
Oh,
that's
this
why no
sounds pretty
rings means no emeralds.
Saving
me
up
know if
enough
this
rings
sounds
can get tricky if you're not careful.
too
If you
loud.
accidentally pass over an accelerator, it can wipe out all of your rings and have you start collecting all over again. When this happens, it is rage-inducing.
The irritation doesn't stop with the rings either. Get this, you lose your emerald if you don't come in first place in the race. They even have a dirty little failure screen just to cram it down your throat.
Oh, and just to rub salt in the wound, a couple of the Chaos Emeralds aren't hidden just behind doors to quickly be collected.
so
Sometimes they're
bad.
stuck in an object
I remember
like a
playing
pyramid,
Sonic R,
and they
it's
don't
literally
open
like that.
until the door itself has been opened.
You'll have to wait for the emerald to reveal itself. It's not instant. It takes time.
So you might just need to unlock the door on one lap and then go back to the area again on a second pass to get the gem in an attempt to save
Oh,
a few
I'm a
seconds.
Bigfoot.
But there's another collectible.
Sonic tokens. You have to collect all of these coins in a single map to reveal a secret character.
The only difference is you can fall back to third place and still complete the task. But now you have to race the character one-on-one to
What the
unlock
fuck?
them.
Speaking of characters, let's look at the complete roster of racers in Sonic R. You start with 4 to pick from: Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy.
For some reason, Amy is the
Oh.
only character with a car. You might think this would make her control differently than all the other racers, and you'd be right. Amy can't jump, and although that shouldn't matter for a racing game, it really does matter here.
Dr. Robotnik gets added to the roster
Ah.
after you beat the game, driving his little hovering jalopy. He plays just like Amy, automatically hovers over water and cannot jump, but he doesn't get a speed boost. Instead, he fires a lock-on attack that falls.
Now, Amy's
Can't
speed
teleport to
boost
that place.
recharges over time by itself. Dr. Robotnik's homing attack, though, it costs 10 rings each time you use it.
That might sound good to you, but if you pick either of these racers, there will be whole sections of the map that you won't have access to. For example, there are these springs that bounce you to elevated areas, but you have to jump on them to use them.
And remember, Amy and Robotnik can't jump.
Then there's this section where to continue on your path, you have to hippity hop across. Jumping characters can do it. The non-jumpers, though, they fall to their doom.
Some jump and some don't. Some hover and some won't. Some have attacks and others can't. It's all over the place.
Then the rest of the secret characters all behave in some mix of the previously established abilities.
The funniest looking is Tails' doll, since it looks like he's unanimated and is just floating through the stages
Oh my
without
God.
any fear or regard for personal safety.
But the ultimate character, the one you get from collecting all the Chaos Emeralds, the one that really establishes just how unbalanced the races can be, Super Sonic.
He's real quick to accelerate and has a top speed way above anyone else. And unlike regular Sonic, he floats above all the water obstacles in every level and seems to jump higher as well.
Nobody can catch up to him. Truly an
This dude's
attack.
teaching me the
The
way
existence of a
to
character
get to
who's so
Bigfoot.
overpowered compared to the rest just completely and thoroughly breaks the game.
The racers, the levels, the controls, the power-ups. Nothing in this game seems to work right. Sega clearly needed some direction on how to make a character-based racer. Maybe they should have looked to Nintendo for clues.
Oh, can we gush about Mario Kart 64?
Yeah, I think we need to.
Mario Kart 64
That
is
man's
fantastic.
farthest
Everything
right.
that Sonic R falls behind on was done almost to perfection by this game and even Super Mario Kart from 1992.
Mario Kart 64's racing mechanics
Second
work
left.
and are fun to play. The levels? Amazing.
Mario Kart 64 was chock full of racing goodness, with 4 championships, each including 4 different maps for a total of 16 unique races.
It's a good thing this far more impressive game came out after Sonic R. Otherwise, it would sure be embarrassing, wouldn't it?
A year? Sonic R came out a freaking year after Mario Kart 64? They had time to learn from this super successful fan-pleasing game and we got this? How did this happen?
Sure, it looks bad at first, but don't forget, Mario Kart 64 wasn't attempting 3D models for their racers. Sonic R was doing something way more advanced, something that the Nintendo 64 simply couldn't do.
Only Diddy Kong Racing did, and it hit the N64 a few weeks before Sonic R came out. A kart racing game that had more levels, various vehicles, hub worlds, and multiple event types. All done with fully 3D models for every single racer and their rides.
They did all that for Diddy Kong? Diddy? He was a
Oh
secondary
my.
mascot.
Oh my God.
Yup, Sonic R had to compete with Diddy Kong, and Diddy won. Banana slammin' sadness.
It was too late for Sonic
Almost
Team
got
to learn
smoked.
anything from Diddy Kong Racing. That came out way too close to the release of Sonic R. But Mario Kart 64, that's fair game. And the differences between the
Oh
two
my
experiences
God.
are insane.
Mario Kart 64 is a more dynamic and exciting game to play. Sonic, on the other hand, is an open loop with a finish line stapled to it. The levels feel sloppy and confused in their intended flow, and the only tension you feel is when you're desperately trying
No,
to
they don't have a charm. Oh my God.
If you needed further proof of Sonic R's overall failure, 2-player races in this game are unplayable.
Oh
Draw
my
distance? Nope. It's reduced even more than in single player. But the real friendship killer? Who gets to pick Super Sonic? This is one of those characters that you
Oh
and your
my
friend would
God.
fight over because deep down you know that selecting him is like clicking an instant win button.
Mario Kart 64's multiplayer, by comparison, is infinitely better. You can play all the tracks with up to 4 players. Oh, and battle mode? It's king! Hunting down
Totally
your friends,
blow my
trying to pop
brains
their
out.
balloons was the most fun way to spend a late night.
Oh, right, the battle mode. So that's 16 racing maps plus 4 battle arenas. That's like 20 stages of gameplay that can be played in multiplayer. It's a buffet of fun.
Sonic R is more like a stale Kit Kat bar that fell behind some shelves. It tried to mimic Mario Kart's battle mode, but we don't think they really understood what it was. There's a mode called Balloon, and you run around the existing maps looking for balloons. I mean, what the hell is this?
Oh my
Nintendo
God,
went to the
dude. My
game's
fucking
director and
XP.
asked, how can we make this game better?
Balloon. The player who collects 5 balloons first wins. But neither of you are winners. Because you're hunting for balloons in a Sonic game!
Sonic
I'm
R
bringing my
feels so
HB meal.
insultingly small, but despite that, they found it appropriate to wholesale borrow a level design for their end level, Radiant Emerald.
I mean, look at it! Look at it! This is Rainbow Road. Are we wrong?
Even the
I'm
lyrics
too
to the
scrubbed
music for the
to
level mention Rainbow
Actually
Road.
learn how to fight Bigfoot without taking a hit. So I'm just gonna bring my
Was
HB
that on
meal.
purpose? Did they do that as a wink and a nod to Nintendo? What does it all mean?
I think you might not be surprised to learn that the Sega Saturn was discontinued a year after this game came out.
We ended up porting Sonic R to PC.
But Sonic R did have one more turn around the track in the Sonic Gems collection.
Sonic Gems version of this game is a port of the PC release, which featured differences from the Saturn. The draw distance is farther, frame rate higher, and there was bonus weather effects.
It can rain and it can snow. And when it snows, it causes all the water hazards to freeze over. Exciting.
If you simply must play Sonic R, Sonic Gems is the way to go. But don't for a second think that the game redeems itself, because at its core, it's still Sonic R.
The worst part of this game's legacy is its relationship to Mario Kart 64, coming out a year later and seemingly learning nothing from its existence. Except...
I'm learning.
Maybe they weren't trying to make a Mario Kart clone, instead trying to blend the racing and platforming genres. But that experiment pretty much failed and resulted in a disastrous final product.
The next Sonic games we got from Sega were better, but we had tasted bitterness, and we secretly knew that it could easily go back to that dark place once more. And oh boy, were we not prepared when it did.
Some say that Sonic R was rushed and simply needed more time. But folks, during the same console generation, Nintendo published 2 owned mascot-focused racing games. Sega should have been capable of supporting their developers well enough to make at least one good kart racing game.
But regardless, many believe that Sega Saturn was always doomed going up against Nintendo and Sony. It feels like Sonic R was just one of the last indicators of Sega's failure with the platform.
For us, the console, the gameplay, and the desperately poor use of Sonic gives us no choice but to exclaim,
it's just bad. Supersonic racing. Everybody race onto the clouds. Balan Wonderworld is a video game developed by Arzest and Balan Company and published by Square Enix for the PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PC in 2021.
The game was directed by legendary Yuji Naka, creator of games like Sonic the Hedgehog, Nights into Dreams, and of course, the all-time classic Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg.
Oh my god, this spot is so ass.
Alongside Mr. Naka, the game was crafted by the legendary Naoto Oshima, artist and designer of games like Sonic the Hedgehog, Nights into Dreams, and of course the all-time classic Tommy Lasorda Baseball, about a man and his giant baseballs.
Jumping
spot
into the history of these
sucks.
2 gentlemen would be a Herculean task, as the 2 of them have been involved in some of the biggest video game franchises ever.
They were integral to Sega during the company's rise in the home console market and iconic figures in games development history. They're walking legend, people.
We won't take up your
there we
time
go.
laying out every single step of their careers. We know they're important. You know they're important. We all know Sonic R is important.
Needless to say, when word came along that these creative titans would join forces alongside Square Enix to create an all-new platformer, fans were spin-dashing with excitement.
Dude, I got this egg burrito this
We
morning
get great things. We'll have to check it out
from the
for
dining hall.
ourselves.
Strap on your fancy dancing shoes. We're gonna rhythmically wobble
And I'm
through
pretty sure I got
loads of
food
magical
poisoning from it.
dreamscapes in Balan Wonderworld.
First things first, let's pick a character. We choose boy with black hair, Leo Craig.
Yes. You were graced with the game's opening cinematic, and it looks really, really good.
Smooth animations, good model work, nice lighting and colors, all of this showcased alongside well-composed music? This seems okay.
We see our chosen character, Leo, dancing on the street near some other kids.
Righteous! The 2 other kids come over to congratulate Leo on being funky fresh.
But Leo's once joyful expression melts away. He seems upset, avoiding everyone around.
Did we miss something here? Well, why the sudden rain cloud? Leo seemed like he was having a blast.
Could something have happened that we didn't see?
Funky fresh, all right.
Well, whatever did happen, Leo mopes out of there.
There's
Whoa!
also a girl avatar to choose from. Her name is Emma Cole, and if you select her, you get a completely different
I'm
intro.
not
Here we
that.
see Emma slowly open a door. She discovers whispering maids atop the grand entrance of a mansion. Disturbed by this, the girl walks on, spying other secretive maids, and then more. They're everywhere, whispering.
Emma must have had her own dirty dancing scenario that all the maids have been dealing with.
She had Taco Bell last night.
And watched Footloose.
I had to scrub the chandelier.
We're just guessing as to what's going on here, though, because each of our main characters has been introduced to us with a vague problem that is in no way properly explained.
No matter which character you select, the intro cutscene plays out exactly the same after a certain point. They just shove both Leo and Emma into the same scene. This was confusing for us on our first playthrough because we didn't know who this random girl was that just showed up out of the blue.
The kids both find little
Yo,
fluffy
thanks for the
animals
follow,
and follow
Figs.
them
You
to
can't
a
hear.
strange building with the
You
words
showering?
Balan Wonderworld above the
Yeah, that's all
entrance.
good, man.
They decide to enter and find themselves in the presence of a nightmare in a top hat. We're going to assume this is Balin.
Just doing some
He's speaking
Bigfoot
some
hunting.
mysterious language. Lucky for us, there are subtitles.
Unlucky for us, the subtitles explain nothing.
Balin exclaims the children are missing a piece of their heart and that the show is now beginning.
What follows is a flurry of insane visuals, including this.
Did Balin
Just
just
doing
eat
some
that
Bigfoot
kid?
hunting.
So far, we don't know who this is or what they want with these kids, but they're kind of giving off a stranger danger vibe.
Stranger danger! Stranger danger! Is the point of the game to escape Wonderworld after being kidnapped by this freaking psychopath?
We don't know. The cutscene finishes and we're transported to a place called the Isle of Tims. This will be our hub world for the game.
Here on this mystical floating island, you begin and end worlds called chapters that are broken into 3 acts each. It's simple. Beat a level, come back to the hub world, and then move on to the next.
The actual levels themselves each has the same gameplay loop and objectives. So what can you expect from a level in Balin Wonderworld?
The game's a 3D platformer collectathon. You'll run, jump, and explore each level looking for drop-shaped gems and golden balance statues while disposing of enemies.
You have
So
to
even
collect enough
worth it.
balance statues to unlock more chapters, kind of like how stars worked in Super Mario 64. The statues are hidden throughout the level, so you must scour every corner to find them.
Sure.
But there's a catch. You can't do much in these stages as a
Hey,
plain
XP
run-of-the-mill
is XP,
kid.
isn't
To
it?
really access every section of a level, you need to make use of costumes.
Costumes are the game. Without them, you can't make progress. Not only do they open up whole sections of levels to you through
Wow.
traversal benefits, but they also allow you to fight.
As we mentioned earlier, each chapter is made up of 3 acts, 2 platforming levels, and 1 boss battle. And there's also a bonus one after you beat the whole game, but we're not going to talk about that. After beating the boss, you get booted back to the Isle of
Oh,
Tims
fuck.
to do it all again.
Oh
Okay,
fuck.
the game sounds
Ah!
like a pretty generic
Ah!
character
He's gonna get hit.
platformer. Maybe
They
even
move.
one you'd like to play.
But not all is as it seems in Wonderworld, for beneath the game's bright, shiny surface lies something more. Well, let's say we have a lot to unpack.
But first, let's talk about what we like here.
The general art style. It's colorful and well rendered. Some of the characters
We're
look
gonna give
great.
you
The
anything.
environmental aesthetics. Each world has its own unique theme, and it's well represented.
you.
The music, well composed and orchestrated, high quality and well produced.
The cutscenes, while not problem-free,
Oh.
if you casually glance at them, they look pretty good.
Those are nice things that we just said about this Balin Wonderworld game on a show that we have called Just Bad Games.
But a game can't rely solely on ear candy or flashy visuals. We need reliable, solid gameplay. And that's where Balin Wonderworld... How do we put this?
Sharks its pants while breakdancing?
Bingo.
We're gonna break down our issues with the game one by
No.
one so that we can best explain what's going on here. Issue 1, Costumes! Yes, the costumes. Balin's core gameplay mechanic. You collect them in floating costume boxes scattered around each level.
But before you can collect them, they need to be unlocked.
In Balin, you can't just pick up an ability. What do you think this is? Sonic the
Another
Hedgehog?
They
horse.
make you collect a key first, and then they let you access the costume, turning what could be an immediate moment of fun discovery into a tiny, dull scavenger hunt.
It's not so bad the first few times you do this, but you'll likely be doing this hundreds of times throughout the game.
Keys are sometimes lazily placed right beside the costume box, but they can also be slightly hidden.
Wow,
In a
let's just
game where
beat up
utilizing
let's just beat up the
costumes
horse
is
head,
an
man.
absolute necessity. Hunting for keys or forgetting you don't have
Rah,
a
rah,
key
rah,
gets
rah.
old real quick.
Rah, rah, rah,
When you
rah,
do
rah.
collect a costume, it goes into your HUD.
Rah,
You're
rah,
able
rah,
to keep
rah.
3 at a time, which you can rotate as
Rah,
needed.
rah, rah,
Not
rah,
only
rah.
do these costumes allow you to use different abilities, but they also act as your health system.
If you get hurt in your default kid form, you get booted
Also,
back to
tell me
your
if the
last
sound is
checkpoint.
okay.
But if you get
Stream.
hurt while wearing a costume, you lose the costume
Please.
and transform to the next costume in your inventory, or back into your kid form if you have no costumes remaining.
This means that if you're using a costume for a particular ability or benefit, that immediately goes away when you take damage. Because when you unlock a costume, you don't unlock access forever, you just unlock that one copy. But the game does let you stock up on multiple of the same costume.
So if you're smart, you'll farm costumes. Just wait for the boxes and keys to respawn over and over again. Gives you plenty of time to reflect on what you've been doing with your life.
But believe it or not, actually using these costumes is just as soul-sucking. Now, there's over 80 in the whole game, And 80 is just too many.
There are so many costumes that the game sometimes won't even introduce them to you properly.
Once we collected a costume
I don't
for
even
the
need
first
to
time
transform
during
to
a
kill
boss
you.
battle, and we had no idea what ability it gave us. The introduction animation that normally would teach us didn't play.
80 plus costumes that are all unique and useful, well, that would be pretty cool. The thing is, though, several of these special getups are in no way necessary. Some costumes are incredibly useless, and others are just insultingly similar.
The Iron Apollo costume, for instance, moves like mud. It's ultra, super duper slow. It can't jump quickly, but it can use a rocket blast to move painstakingly slowly upwards. It's so slow that you can't really use it as a reliable attack. There are 2 versions of this. The game does not need 2 versions of this.
But why even consider using it when there's another costume that levitates you much, much faster?
Here's the Lucky Egg costume. It attracts nearby collectibles, but comes with a
You can't hit me, right?
If you fall or jump with it,
Okay.
the costume breaks, erasing it from your inventory.
But wait, here's the Lucky Chicken costume that has the exact same ability. Only you don't have to worry about it breaking from a fall or a jump. It completely negates any reason for the stupid egg costume to exist.
Then there's the Gear Prince and Gear King, which allow you to interact with gearboxes around the world. But they each activate a different sized gear. Why not just make a single gear type instead of multiple? Why would you make 2 of these mostly useless costumes?
There is a costume that has a light bulb on its head that turns on and off by itself. That's its superpower. Lighting up a room sometimes, but not always. You're supposed to use it in maze sections shrouded in darkness.
Why make the costume turn on and off by itself when it could just stay on at all times?
If that's what you need, then the game has you covered. We've got this costume with a flame on its head, flickering at all times. Surely this would light the path. You've gotta be kidding me.
The Metal Bad Boy, Happy Horn, and Amadeus costumes are virtually identical. They utilize the same platforms to play a song that earns a pitiful amount of drops. We only need 1 of these!
There are too many costumes that just do the same thing, like float or do a ground pound attack. We can only use 1 at a time. Why include so many?
However, they did manage to include some unique abilities, like Telepotter. This costume replaces jumping with the ability to teleport you short distances in the direction you're facing. It can be problematic.
Or there's Key Mouse. Its only ability? Unlock other costume boxes. Oh, you heard us right. A costume that itself unlocks other costumes.
The thing about Key Mouse is it's useless. You can already collect as many
he's
keys as
alive.
you want if you just farm the keys.
But our favorite costume? Box Fox. Box Fox.
You become an invincible box randomly.
And seeing as how these costumes are the main game mechanic, you'd hope that you'd be easily able to jump in and out of them, taking advantage of their abilities however and whenever you want. But you'd be disappointed.
Firstly, if you need to change in a hurry, yeah, good luck with that. The changing animation is slow, and it can only be done on solid ground.
And then, like Box Fox, some don't
Does
give you
anything spawn
control
a
over their
haunted hill?
attack or action. They just randomly start firing projectiles or box whenever they feel like it.
Or there are costumes that have attacks that you can control, but are way too slow to be of any use. Like with Hydrant Man. You have to stay in one place waiting for his ability to power
I do
up.
need
Because
one
of this,
leprechaun
you can't
card.
avoid incoming attacks. The cherry on top is that when the ability is finally charged, it's almost impossible to aim properly.
And then, some costumes take away your jump. They make it so your character can't jump. In a platforming game.
Sometimes the ability that was important enough to take away your jump doesn't even work properly.
There are clearly a lot of problems with the basic costume mechanics, but what's worse still is how these lackluster duds interact with their surroundings.
Issue 2, Levels.
The levels in Balan Wonderworld are functionally broken in many ways. Firstly, they don't seem to be designed to mesh well with the costume system.
Here, we frustratingly got stuck with the Iron Apollo costume during a platforming section. With no way to revert back to our kid form, we were forced to move forward and jump over a tiny gap without touching the lava below.
Well, Apollo can't move fast and can't jump forward with momentum. So this happened.
The problem here is they tried to make all levels playable with all the costumes, but you can't do that. Not well, anyways. There was no way to implement 80 different playable characters in all situations without any issues.
How do we know the game wants us to use all the different costumes? Because Balan Wonderworld
sucks
uses
my controller.
backtracking. To collect all the required balance statues, you'll have to return to previous levels with the new costumes you've picked up to access otherwise hidden areas.
And sure, backtracking in and of itself isn't terrible. Many games use it in rewarding ways, boosting a satisfying feeling of progression.
I love the
problem
sounds of
resolution,
Midlight
putting a
Leprechauns
twist
make when
on
you
old
punch them.
spaces and ideas.
But not here. Different abilities are shoehorned in to create the illusion of varied gameplay. And
Yeah,
playing
yeah,
these
yeah,
levels with
yeah,
costumes
yeah.
that weren't play tested for them leads to frustrating problems.
Backtracking through Balan makes it painfully obvious that there was no clear vision when they were designing each of the levels. It's more of a shotgun approach. It's a shame because a more curated style could have made these levels a lot more satisfying to complete.
There was such little attention paid to the abilities placed in the levels that you can easily finish some worlds and miss unlocking costumes in them. In a game focused, first and foremost, on the importance of costumes. Why would you do that?
These levels are so poorly designed that they don't even properly teach the player how the basic gameplay systems work. Like these stupid Tims.
You see them follow you around with no idea what function they serve, and then when you finish an act, they chant at the end gate and unlock it.
But in one instance, we couldn't finish the level because the endgate tree thing wouldn't activate. We realized the Tims were missing.
Well, you can lose Tims if they've been eaten by these plants. Why didn't we notice this earlier? Because the game didn't show it happening. Turns out these carnivorous flora will only eat Tims if you're not looking directly at them.
Like
I didn't
here,
even
we
start
tried
this.
tempting a plant with a Tim buffet, and nothing happens. Then we rotate
Don't know
the
why my
camera
feet
away
just
from the
look super
plant, and
wacky.
bam! It suddenly has a squirming treat in its jaws.
They already don't explain how the Tims work in general. Then they hide important events from the player like a Tim getting Tim-napped. Are the developers intentionally trying to mess with us?
We only noticed this was happening because somewhere in the distance, we heard this. But if you don't know what's going on, then that sound literally means nothing to you.
When the Tims get eaten, you need to save them by jumping on the flowers. If you don't, they won't follow you to the end of the stage and activate the exit. The game never tells you any of this.
You have to keep an eye on these fluff balls and make sure they get to the end okay. It's an escort mission. Every level is an escort mission.
They chose to make the game this way, but then there are problems that are happy accidents, otherwise known as bugs.
Here we encountered a Balan hat, which typically activates a minigame, but for some unknown reason, the hat wouldn't activate properly. Great.
On the Isle of Tims, one of our little friends is locked in a cycle, forever trying to eat a drop, but never actually finishing. Come on, dude, we've got places to go. Eat!
In the game, sometimes cutscene characters from individual chapters show up
Ew.
as these titans in the world, like gigantic theme reminder decorations. Yes, this is weird, but they're supposed to be there. Also, they're supposed to vanish when you approach them, except sometimes they don't vanish.
Bugs show up in the costumes too, like with Ladderman. His ladders normally help you climb, but in some places they phase through solid objects over and over.
Sometimes
Alright, I think
levels
that's a
are
little
so
better.
badly designed that certain costumes just completely undermine any challenges that were originally intended.
For example, sometimes at the end of a level, this evil,
Where
bound-looking
is
character shows
Sanraku?
up and spawns a mini-boss. You have to fight it to pass through to the end gate. Well, with this costume, you can walk right over the wall, completely avoiding the fight.
There's also a ghost costume in the game.
Hey, it's the ghost of the money we wasted on Balan Wonderworld.
My ability is I demean you for your purchasing decisions.
Wrong ghost.
In the fire hall level, with this ghost costume, whatever challenge was originally intended with not being able to touch the lava is completely negated by floating.
This feels like an accident. Why make a costume that makes your level design completely irrelevant?
It's actually a bit ironic that the ghost costume breaks the difficulty in this specific level because of that classic film that combines ghosts with a firefighter backdrop, Ghostbusters.
And you know what movie's classic score shows up in this level? Ghostbusters.
We know it's it's not the exact same tune, but the similarity is undeniable.
Yup, the levels in Balan Wonderworld have flaws. In the way that they're set up, in the glitches they hold, and in the way that costumes interact with them. But how you actually move through those levels, haha, now that's going one notch worse.
Issue 3, Controls.
As odd as this sounds, Balan Wonderworld has controls that are overly simple and complicated at the same time.
I guess while I'm here, I
There's
can card
only
farm.
one action button, and every face button replicates that one action in the game.
One button action sounds simple enough, but what that action button does always changes.
One action button that is never the same sounds complicated, and especially complicated in combat.
Instead, your character might launch out a long frog tongue or enter an up-close zoom view of the enemies, both of which do nothing to fend off attackers.
What do? Well, if you happen to have another costume in your inventory, you can change, and hopefully those have the ability to help you fight or at least jump away from trouble. Otherwise, tough luck. You can't even switch back to your regular jump-capable kid form for a quick getaway, not without taking damage, that is.
You'll quickly start avoiding these lame and underwhelming costumes in favor of ones that at least do something useful with the game's single action button.
This one action button mechanic has been described as a simplification of controls, but one action button does not simplify this game. Not when necessary functions like jumping and defending yourself are sacrificed in favor of so-called simplicity.
Heck, this problem is present in the main menu way before actual gameplay. Every face button does the same action. There's no back button. You scroll to the end of every menu and choose an icon to do something as simple as go back. Just let us use another button, for crying out loud. We got plenty of them.
With all that said, it's time we talked about another head scratcher that makes use of the single action control system, and that's
Issue 4, Balan Bouts.
a Balan bout is a type of bonus stage within levels. They're designed to hand out balance statues. Some levels have more than others, but they're all very similar.
Each one offers a series of QuickTime button prompts that require you to hit the action button on time or hit it repeatedly really fast. Your performance is graded at the end of the event on a scale from
Wait, this is
excellent
actually a good
to
place
oops.
right here.
These get mighty repetitive mighty quickly.
But this doesn't mean they're easy. Sometimes the hit detection feels off, like your button press is registered either later or sooner than it actually was. And unfortunately, if you miss just one excellent rating, that means no balance statue.
Oh, and you only get one chance to win. If you lose, you'll have to come back. No, not by restarting the level. You'll have to beat the world boss, restart the level, find the Balan bout, and repeat the process again until you get a 100% excellent run.
Adding to the frustration, the further in the game you get, the longer the bouts become. That means more chances to screw up. Believe us, you will fail. When retrying each bout requires so many hoops to jump through, failing stings.
Balan bouts quickly feel like unnecessarily frustrating game padding, but they're not the only despicable side quest mini-games here. There's also soccer, baseball, bowling, and golf.
Each game plays in 3 rounds with no practice mode beforehand, which is bad since each one has awful physics and timing. They'll place obstacles in your path like with bowling, which will completely throw off your aim.
Dude,
It's
I
always
blew
a
up.
crapshoot.
I
Luckily,
blew up
these
like
sports
4
outings
flare
aren't
grades
connected
last
to
night. I'm
balance
so
statues.
mad.
They offer drops that kind of feel pointless.
Trying to get 30% to land is
Issue 5,
impossible.
Plot and cutscenes.
Let's talk
I
about
wanted to
the
get at
game's
least 3 to
cinematics again
land.
for a moment. We mentioned earlier how they look great for the most part. It's true,
But only
the more
2
you watch,
landed
you start
back to
to
back.
notice some odd choices. Check this out. In
And
several
then
scenes where there's supposed to be a
everything
crowd,
just
they
started
use what I can only
exploding. I was like,
describe as
oh my
bowling
God.
pin people
Oh.
instead of actual models. Despite the fact that in this scene they actually use real people.
Bowling pin standees may have been intentional,
That's 100
but
mil
we don't know
gone.
for sure. Effort is all over the place with this title.
Take the game's
I'm just so
opening, for
upset
example.
that
They spent time
this-
rendering out cutscenes for
This
each
could have
of
been
the 8
so
main characters you can
good,
play
but it's only
as.
But
plus
the character
4.
designs are just palette swaps of a generic male and female character. Same models, different hair color.
Repeating the same assets over and over and just changing the color? Who would do that?
To add insult to injury, these cutscenes lose impact because they rely almost entirely on characters emoting. We're not told anything, though, through narration or subtitles.
Makes me long for the cutscenes in The Quiet Man. At least we got fluid character movement and could pretend we knew what characters were saying.
Balan will be remembered as a classic.
Never mind.
The confusing thing is Balan Wonderworld does choose to use dialogue sometimes. The opening and ending cinematics use a gibberish language that fans have dubbed Balinese. This is then supplemented with subtitles.
Ooh.
But the scenes you see during actual gameplay contain
Wow.
no dialogue, Balinese or otherwise, and they're not always the most easy emotional journeys.
So I
to
door
follow.
that's
The visuals
some
implement a lot of symbolism
Subway.
and metaphor. They might look cool,
And
but can be ineffective at telling a concise story.
I got
Could've
the
kept
receipt,
Balinese language and
and
just
they're
use
like,
subtitles to
only
convey
5
what's going
cookies
on.
left.
Heck, if you can write
When it's supposed to be
gibberish song
6.
lyrics, you can write
on a
gibberish
receipt.
conversations.
That's
And I
right.
think-
Each
I
word
think they
victory
charged
is
me full
celebrated with
price.
a musical number sung in this made-up language. Whole catchy songs play out that mean nothing.
You paid full price for this.
Maybe they should have taken the time they used to
oh, hey,
record
Bam.
English versions of those songs and put it towards
It's just an ADHD stream up there, right there. It's some guy reviewing
All of the
Balan
songs in
Balan
Wonderworld
Wonderworld.
have English translations. They play as a reward if you finish a world with all the Balan statues collected.
Of course they did that. But
No, it's not a-
time
it's not a
and
commercial,
effort
it's some
into
guy
telling the
reviewing
actual
it.
story of the game. These songs with the emotional depth of a bumper sticker needed to be fully recorded twice.
That failed
Not
miserably.
every game requires a lot of attention to its story, but if you're gonna go to the effort of giving your game a narrative,
Which
at
I was
least give
kinda
the
hyped
players
for.
something to work with.
They could have skipped a story altogether and put that time towards designing.
Issue 6 Multiplayer.
Balan Wonderworld has co-op.
And you don't want to play it.
It introduces a tidal wave of new issues into the game, like how there's only one camera that follows the first player, meaning that if player 2 decides to run off for a moment, there's a high likelihood
It's
that
so
they'll
bad.
blindly tumble to their
It's
death.
literally one of those Switch games that you find for 8 beans.
And respawn close to player 1.
Not the most fluid gameplay mechanic, but
Or they
did
just start
attempt to
bundling
solve
it
this.
with-
You see, when both players stand
anything.
close to each other, they get bound together with some kind of force field. This allows the characters to be moved in tandem with one player's inputs. The best a multiplayer team behind Balan could come up with is one where the second player doesn't need to control their character in the slightest. Smart.
And things get even more head-scratchingly weird when costumes are thrown in the mix. You each collect a different costume.
I was
in the
low-key
levels, forcing
thinking
you
about
both to fight over what can be found
just
in the
playing
stage.
anime
There
up there
usually aren't enough
on that,
costumes to
and
go
just
around,
delete the
though.
VOD
This
after.
is really annoying in boss fights where the costumes are most needed. An unlocked costume box sometimes won't respawn for
'Cause I'm
player
pretty sure
two
as long
if
as you
player
delete the
one
VOD,
has
you
the
don't
costume
really
in their HUD.
Player 1
get in
has to
trouble on
hit
Twitch.
and lose a costume before it will respawn. So
Unless it's like a
player
super
2 can't
long
do
stream
much
that's
except
going
sit
on
back
and like
let player
someone
1
comes
do
in.
all the work.
But
Which
what kind of
maybe
Twitch
isn't
staff's
so
gonna
bad,
come in on
because
like
playing a chaotic boss
such
battle
a
with this
niche-
messed up camera is a nightmare.
niche game
Are we
like this?
finished yet?
No, there's one more chunk of the Balan Wonderworld experience that we need to dig into. Color drops and Tims.
Bonus issue Color Drops and Tims.
Throughout all the levels, there are various colored drop
Isn't that right,
gems
Craw?
you need to collect. As
I
we
was
saw
high
earlier,
as hell the
Tims
other
love
day, and
to
I
keep
named
these things
I
in the
named
hub
Craw
world. It's a cute but ultimately time-consuming affair because you have to
8000813.5.
watch them devour the drops in real time before laying down more for them to eat. If you feed the Tims enough drops, they build structures to interact with, like trampolines and something called the Tower o' Tims.
These structures have no purpose. They in no way impact your progression through the game. You, as the player, can't even interact with them. So why go to the hassle of collecting drops and feeding Tims? Well, because if you don't, you won't be able to unlock the hidden Balan costume.
If this costume sounds interesting to you, great! Let's talk about how you get it.
Oh
You need a
yeah,
single
I've
Tim
heard
enough
the
color drops that it spawns
the
three
little
different colored
snitches.
badges, red, blue, and purple. Then you pick another Tim and do the same, but continue
I think
feeding
Joe
drops
Hawk was
until it gets
streaming
really
on
big. You throw the small Tim
Twitch
at the big
before, and
one
he
to
came
breed a
in.
Tim egg that hopefully
He was
hatches
like,
a crowned Tim. It's randomized, so it may
streaming
take a
Maple
few
Story
tries.
private servers against TOS.
Keep exiting and reloading
It's
until it
strictly
finally works.
prohibited.
We're not done yet. You also have to scour levels looking for rainbow drops. These are rare.
I mean, if
difficult
I get
to
taken
find.
down, it's
Accumulating enough
whatever.
of them can take a while.
Pro tip, let the game
I don't even have
so
a
you can get as
subscriber
many rainbow
button,
drops
so
as you
I'm not
need.
making
Very
anything
little
off of
effort.
You
this.
feed these rainbow drops to a statue until its meter fills up. Then you feed it your crowned Tim, and the statue turns into this epic hulking negative. You ride this Tim to a floating island in the sky, and there you find the Balin costume. And the costume, it gives you the ability to fly and glide across
November,
virtually
December?
every level, completely bypassing everything and breaking their already broken design.
Pro tip, don't play this game. Why would you want to play this horrible game for so long to unlock a costume that essentially lets you glide through levels you've already played to death?
I don't know, but it's at least a symbol of overcoming the trial, pain, and...
Did we just lose the Balin costume because of a game error?
Well,
this game should have been
Yeah,
better.
especially
And for the
in
first time
the
on
retro
Just Bad, we're
tab.
gonna show you exactly how to
Retro
fix
is
it.
like literally anything can be streamed in there, so
Costumes. Get rid
it's
of
gonna
the
be pretty hard to
bloat.
find
Focus on
viewers.
smaller amounts, like
But sometimes I
one per
just
world.
stream
No need to
literally
double up on
and
redundant transformations.
lucky egg, smash
I don't
it
really
to
talk to
pieces.
anyone. I
Ball,
kind of just like
blast out,
use it for
buckaroo.
practice
G-mouse?
to like talk to myself.
We already have costumes that do what these do and better. And in the
Because
case
usually
of
IRL, I
even though
really don't
suck
talk to
lucky egg,
anyone.
because
Like I am
we have already
very
decided that
quiet.
This game needs to ditch the keys. You should be able to collect
So
the
sometimes I just
costume willy-nilly
rewatch
and
my old
always
VODs
have
and just see
access
how
to it.
I
But if you always have access to the
articulate myself.
costumes, how can the health system work? Revamp it. Use a health system that is recharged every time you collect a certain number of drops. Give added purpose to collecting them, beyond the slop show that is getting the Balin costume.
Levels. All the levels and boss fights should focus mainly on world
I really need to
specific
change
costumes. Keep it simple while allowing the chance to
my,
bring out as many cool ideas from abilities as possible.
my face keys because I
Controls. Jump
randomly
button. We need it. Now, have one button to use special abilities and a second
just randomly
button to
changing
jump.
facial
It worked in
expressions.
1985, and it works today.
Balin bouts.
Multiplayer. No.
Story. Present the game in a real language, either spoken or with subtitles. This will make the plot easier to follow and give players a connection.
But
to
yeah, I
what's going
remember
on.
While we're on better
have you
explanations,
watched
introduce the game's villain, this sinister
I'm pretty sure you
Balin
know
over
him,
here. We need to know
Me
what
Me
they're
Big
all
Boy
about. We beat the game
and
still don't know what's up.
By the way, yes.
What was
we
his
know
name?
there's a novelization
Oh, what was
of
that?
Balin
The
Wonderworld,
DK?
and no,
I think it was
we
a
didn't
DK.
read it. If it was
The
truly
DK
important,
who's like a
they should
legit
have
solo
included
player,
it
like
with the game.
super
Couldn't have
solo
a costume
player.
carousel accessible on the fly that allowed players to easily hop through all the abilities.
He had to take his videos down.
And that's how you easily make Balin Wonderworld a worthwhile experience.
You know the sad part? A better Balin style game exists.
Yeah, just play Super Mario Odyssey. It's essentially the same type of game, but tuned to perfection. The accessible abilities are woven perfectly into
I
the
feel like
designs of
Buck
the game's beautiful
is-
and creative worlds.
And you even got eyes on a
You just
hat.
have to like
Super.
map
Balin
every
Wonderworld
single
is a
skill
dreadful
to your keyboard.
experience.
It's a
Something
lot
that becomes
to
more
map.
apparent the more you play it.
We
I wouldn't
can't
say
deny
it's
that a
difficult
massive
to
amount of
play.
effort went into this game,
There are
and
some
though we
things
believe many
like
parts
barrel
weren't well thought
canceling
out,
for
the
like
game isn't
more
a work of
DPS,
laziness.
but
If anything, it tries too
it's not
hard in
mandatory.
all the wrong
Basically,
places.
it's like
Not one costume, not
Let me
one
see.
level, not one element was designed as well as the first 3 Sonic the Hedgehog
Somewhat
games,
like
which
this,
for
you
us
can,
was
like,
surprising
cancel
considering what was
barrage.
involved.
While certain visual aspects of this
And
game
the
shine
next
and
animation
some
starts
ideas
up
show
faster.
glimpses of creativity, Balin Wonderworld at the end of the day is a video game, an interactive experience. And as a game, well,
It's
Oh my God.
just bad.
rare gotch. It's just bad. Let's watch Johnny.
With
Talk
that
about
said, if you're heading by MagFest this coming weekend, stop on by and maybe, just maybe, you might be a part of that Sonic Advance Trilogy video.
yeah, literally L canceling.
Looks like I'm going to MagFest. Dude, Johnny,
On some, like,
I fucking
Smash
here
Brothers
at
shit.
MagFest. I knew you were doing a Sonic Advance video and you were gonna be here. I want to talk about these games. There's just so much to say.
Anthony! MagFest is over. I'm sorry.
I think this is something more I can learn to do in like Horntail when I
Next
get
time.
there.
You're here, and I want to talk about these 3 games.
Listen,
But
I'm tired.
eh.
I don't have time for this awkward back
But
and
Buck
forth
just has
between
a lot of
personalities.
skills. Like,
Go home. If
look
you
at
wanna
all
do
this
something
on my
with me,
keyboard.
get your ass back home, we'll talk
And I
something
still
out.
have,
Camera for your Smash introduction,
I still,
and just be yourself. God knows I already gotta do
I
it.
have
It's really
Snatch,
watch the video because
and I don't think I use this skill, but Energy Orb. I don't know where I'm gonna put this.
everybody gets wild.
And I'm using the controller.
Okay, now we're getting into the stuff you guys are probably more familiar with. Indeed, these are the handheld Sonic games I played the most myself. Though being honest, my total playtime with the Sonic Advance series still pales in comparison to the Genesis games, and
Is it
even
still
some
gonna
3D
chow
titles,
with me?
Still here we are.
Aw man, can I just say that 2001 was such a bizarre year for Sega and Nintendo fans. With the Sega Dreamcast going under, the fate of Sonic was left unknown.
But starting in December of that year and leading into the early part of next year, the once thought impossible happened.
Sonic made his debut on a Nintendo console with the much beloved Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on the GameCube. In fact, it's thanks to this that a lot of Nintendo kids out there were given their first slice of the attitude-filled Blue Hedgehog. And then an original Sonic title was developed for the newly released Game Boy Advance, Sonic Advance, and the Advance moniker
Is that
isn't just a marketing
SpongeBob?
ploy. Just look
SpongeBob
at it.
reference.
It's fast and frantic. Never have we seen Sonic and company move so fluently in a two-dimensional space.
I don't know, they kind of look ugly as shit moving up slopes with loops. Let me freeze frame that.
Oh, it's gonna be so hard to zack. I don't have
It does look better in motion,
any.
but there is plenty of here.
Yeah,
I don't have
it was
any
pretty
teleport
surreal
rocks.
Playing a new 2D Sonic title on a Game Boy of all things.
Oh, and before we forget, do you want to talk about the N-Gage port of Sonic Advance?
N-Gage port? What? No. Let me save you some time. This is Sonic Advance on the Game Boy.
Sesame
Sonic Advance on the N-Gage. See the problem? Good, let's move on. Now,
Never mind, I'm a
in high school
fraud.
when Sonic Advance
Forget
was
it.
making its rounds, I was sort of out of my platformer phase at this point. I was all about the
Why did I think
RPG. Then I saw
SpongeBob?
a friend of mine playing the game on his Game Boy Advance on a road trip. I had to squint my eyes, the screen was so fucking dark. But I liked what I saw, I wanted to give it a shot. High school student though, money was a little tight. I first experienced Sonic Advance on an emulator, then finally got all 3 games for myself when the money was right.
I have no rocks because I spent all my NX trying to dress up my freaking character.
Like the Genesis games, but had the modern aesthetics of 3D Sonic. And unlike, say, Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1 or 2, this actually felt like a tried and true 2D Sonic game. There was momentum. I could do a badnik.
Bring the dimensional mirror back. I want the dimensional mirror.
Even Amy was a playable choice this time. I don't think highly of her platforming abilities, seeing as she can't.
Oh, you know what? While I'm here, let me.
Here's the ideal weapon for boss encounters.
I agree, but it really hurts that she can't,
Oh,
just
this
jump
thing's
on
pissing
enemies
me off
like
just looking
everyone else
at it.
can. Having to use her hammer to mitigate that felt like an unnecessary step to what's otherwise a platformer with simple mechanics. But hey, at least those that love Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles.
Nah,
can
SpongeBob
relish
would
in the
definitely
fact
say that.
They all play exactly how they did in the Genesis.
Serving
games.
it up
Like Tails
Gary's
can fly,
way.
He can even use his tail swipe from Adventure 1, and Knuckles can glide and climb walls to locate alternate pathways.
Let's see if,
and more hidden stuff. And Sonic Advance is certainly not
if Thorny
lacking in
sold
terms
anything.
of classic Sonic level design. There's optional pathways, alternate means to reach the end goal, and thanks to the blend
I am
of
down
adventure
bad.
elements, Advance can kind of take a different spin on things. There's grind rails for Sonic
Only a
to take
ducky
advantage
tube
of,
sold.
and other types of
Oh,
gimmicks
why
will
is
have
no
you
one buying
bouncing
that?
all over the place, reaching its conclusion
I
with
assume
an
it's
Eggman
cheap.
boss battle at the end of every zone.
To a lot of fans,
Guess
myself
not.
included, Sonic Advance was the true Sonic the Hedgehog 4 that was just never called that. It didn't have everything from Sonic 3. For instance, the only elemental shield returning was the electric shield.
Foul.
You couldn't even double jump with it. It was more like the adventure electric shield. I
Foul.
thought the game looked great, but I wasn't getting much from the music, admittedly. Like, even now, if you were to play me a track, I wouldn't recognize it unless it was the first stage, the boss battle music, or the special stage.
Oh boy, okay, we're going.
I never
there now,
played
aren't we?
Sonic
Sonic
Advance 1.
Advance is great, but its downsides are like really fucking obnoxious downsides.
Okay, so where do you want to start?
The level design, more accurately towards the end of the game. You want to talk about good design mentality just falling off the face of the fucking earth? Look no further than the trip through the egg rocket, the penultimate zone in the title. As much as I disliked Wing Fortress from Sonic 2, as much as I didn't like the anti-gravity of Death Egg Zone in Sonic 3, I have never been this bombarded with horrible enemy placement, more spikes than Mega Man 4, and bottomless pits. And you don't see most of this shit coming until it's already too late. It's severely punishing trial and error.
And I have to agree 100%. There's a lot here of
Boomer-
what I consider to be
Boomer core.
beginner's traps. Stuff that you learn to
Boomer
avoid
core be
after
like
multiple playthroughs,
yellow.
but make your first experience an irritating slog. But again, that's more towards the end of the adventure at least, when things are, for the most part, expected to get more difficult, but Advance goes a little overboard, and the end result is a rather tiresome endgame.
And the special stages. What the fuck happened here?
Yep, I was waiting for this.
Seriously, man. So, as expected, there's a final zone that's only accessible by getting the Chaos Emeralds. But rather than giving the player multiple attempts within one stage
Kids
to
these
manage
days will never
there's only
understand
one way of finishing a special stage within the current act, and it's in the form
how
of a special
eggs,
spring.
how much
More often
eggs
than not,
cost
Sonic
back in
will
my
have an
day.
awkward time trying to reach.
I don't know, man. The special stages aren't that bad.
I wasn't finished. Chaos emeralds are also tied to a zone, so you can only get the red emerald. in the
This
first zone,
burrito
blue
is
emerald in the second zone,
so-
etc., etc.
Ugh.
Not every stage in the zone has a special spring. Sometimes they're limited to only once per zone. And I'm sorry if I'm coming off as a nostalgic curmudgeon, but Sonic 2 and 3 had it right with multiple checkpoints or multiple giant rings within one stage. It gave players the choice of making their own routes while still nabbing the emeralds at their leisure. Plus, getting the emeralds gave you Super Sonic to use whenever you wanted. Here, they only unlock the final zone, and that blows. And excuse me, did you just say the special stages aren't too bad?
Well, I don't know. I kind of like the idea of sky surfing for rings. It beats reusing the half pipe again. You gotta admit that.
Okay, yeah, it's not the half pipe, but my depth perception is absolute shit.
I know
It's a
I know
2D
I
game
said that as soon
trying
as I
to
took a
replicate
bite.
Space. I think I'm on top of the ring. Turns out I'm way fucking off. I
But
can't
it's
deal with
like,
this. And again, all this work for one
the
zone at the end of
eggs
the game
are
will most
okay,
likely finish faster
but
than
it's like
most
those
of
eggs
the
in a
games.
bag, right?
But I mean, besides
They're like
all that,
watery
I would
eggs,
say
I can
Sonic
tell.
Advance still holds up in terms of quality, right?
Yeah, I still think the core game is great.
And I
It's a
swear
game anyway
it's
where
giving me
just
food poisoning.
nosedives.
While rough around some edges, Sonic Advance still delivers on 2D Sonic action. It was a great way to introduce new players into the world of Sonic.
I can't buy another burger.
Though I'm not so sure if this really got anyone dusting off their old Sega Genesis to revisit some of Sonic's classics.
Yeah, watery
Sonic Advance
eggs. They
did
come in
well
like a
enough to make
bag.
Game Boy Advance Sonic's home in the handheld department. And
I've
1
seen
year
them
later,
here at the
they've
dining
retreated to
hall.
Sonic Advance
In the
2.
back, it's like
All
some
the
weird like
familiar faces
powdered
are here,
egg
but new to
thingy.
the lineup was Cream the Rabbit. Oh yeah, you thought Sonic Heroes was where she made her debut? No. Sonic Advance 2.
I
has
can't go
been
back home for
beaten
spring
by
break, so
over
I'm
a
just
year.
literally
And to bring
home
this up, there's not much of
at
a
my
plot
dorm.
going on here. For this and Sonic Advance 1, Eggman is up to no good. Sonic and company team up to slap him silly, lather, rinse, repeat until the finale. Cream's reasoning for joining our heroes is to help her mother, who I think Eggman has kidnapped. I'm not sure. Like, Cream
You don't
mentions that
understand?
in
It's
the
okay.
detail, but we see nothing come out of that at the end of the game.
I didn't
At the
understand
start of
it
the
either
showdown zone, we see Eggman kidnap Cream's mom. So
until I
was
saw
she
it. It's like a
eventually then
powdery
kidnapped again in
bag,
the same
and they
game?
put
If so,
water in it,
fuck. Move over,
mix it
Princess
up,
Elise.
and somehow
Cream the
eggs
Rabbit.
is made.
What
I don't
can
know
you
what
really
kind of
say about her?
concoction that
She's
is.
pretty much a better taste.
I
She
don't
can
know.
fly for a bit, she
I
hacks
really
into
don't know.
speed, and she carries a weapon of mass destruction.
Say what?
Oh, sorry, I mean Cheese. Cheese, her Chow companion.
Oh, I'm fighting like a tactical nuke. I mean, Jesus.
Well, I mean, not entirely wrong. For Eggman, it might as well be, because Cheese just decimates boss fights. And to some, that's a great thing, because in Sonic Advance 2, almost every encounter with Eggman is like an auto-scroller, where you're constantly giving chase to the mad scientist.
You can't deny that there's an element of energy to these encounters. At the same time, it kind of makes the fights feel a little samey. You wait for an opening, then you hold right and hope you connect the hit. Otherwise, you get.
That's
hit
why I
and go
ordered
backwards
Subway
and try
today.
again. And this boss right here in the ice zone is full.
So they do
Shit,
provide
oh,
like
these
free
explosions,
food
too.
for
No,
people
of
who
course
stay
not,
here
because
during
they're
spring
fucking
break,
stupid.
but
And who's the genius that made this hand
you know, it's definitely not the best food, especially for breakfast. But for dinner, it's not bad.
They've ramped up the speed tremendously this time, and this was at a time before the boost function.
Yeah,
was
these
even a thing.
yeah.
By
What?
collecting rings and keeping the speed constant, Sonic and friends will enter a boost state,
Oh.
signified by the flashy after images. You move even faster.
I
and
have to
what's
eat it,
cool
though.
as hell,
I
it's
can't-
honestly
I don't
one of the
wanna,
most rewarding
make
things
food go to
about
waste.
Advance 2, keeping the speed going. It kind of takes me back to that sense of
It's like
flow
one
that I enjoyed
fat
so much
burrito,
in the Genesis games. You
some
didn't
like
go piss fast, mind you,
cinnamon
but
buns,
maintaining that constant
tiny
movement
cinnamon
was a
buns.
reward for me playing well.
And
I
what
really get
is
that
this?
again
It's
with
like
this game.
Speed has taken precedence over
Potato-
platforming this time. I mean, there's still platforming, but it's
potato-
severely undermined by the constant speed. I agree that it's exhilarating, but it does sort of water down
What
the
is
level design
this?
to a degree.
It's like some
what's
kind of
the
like
difference between
fry,
a forest or
some kind of
something like Hot
potato.
Crater? Odds are it's the graphic design, and that's about it. But damn, I love me some Hot Crater.
Mm.
I may not have remembered much of Sonic Advance 1's soundtrack, but fuck me if it isn't the complete opposite here. I love Advance 2's soundtrack so much. I can listen to it for days, second only to another series of fast-paced handheld games I'll cover next time. But to go back to the pace, no matter the character, the key element is fast, frantic, greasy fast speed. With attributes like character abilities, taking a bit of a backseat. Every character
burn your
has
toast?
access to these stunt moves. Pressing the R trigger after bouncing off the
No.
screen or dash ramp will allow the player to make a fast dash in whatever direction they're holding down. It's the best way to reach other pathways without coming to a dead stop. Otherwise, you'll be relying on the more traditional techniques like Tails' flight or Knuckles' climbing ability for basic exploration, something Sonic Advance 2 clearly doesn't want you to do, and guess how they
I usually make
this time.
I put some butter and like some jelly on some toast
Yeah, absolutely. But,
and just
have
eat
you
that
ever
up.
agreed that getting the Chaos Emeralds here
But
is completely
the toaster here
counterintuitive
is
to how the entire
extremely
game is
powerful. I
already
barely
designed?
leave it in there,
Special stages
and then I
this
take it
time
out. It's
are
just
accessed by
completely
collecting
charred.
Sonic special rings
I
in
read
each
something that you
stage.
can like rub two toasts together,
Yeah,
and
seven.
it'll like
And in a
not,
game where you're not
you know,
encouraged at
it'll
all to
unburnt
explore
your toast,
surroundings,
but
with it also
it kind of
being
just destroys the
impossible
bread.
to backtrack at all at many points. You are going to go through many hurdles and loops just for one attempt at a special
Oh, this dude
stage.
next door
And
is
in all
being
fairness,
loud.
the special stages are a bit of a joke. These are some of the easiest I ever played in a Sonic game. The challenge was clearly just getting to this point, but that challenge is still pretty fucking horseshit. Going for the rings not only causes
All right,
me to
let's
play
go.
the game in a way
Hey,
I
see
didn't
you
expect
in.
to be played, but it also forces me to limit my routes in a series
Hey.
where the best things about it was the expansive level design. But now I have to memorize what's here, over there, to know when to take the top path, the bottom path, all that shit, just to get one part of a means
I remember
of
training with that
challenge
guy.
at the end of the level. It's the fucking worst. I never go for the special rings in Sonic Advance 2. I just could not fucking care. And that's a damn shame because I think the true final boss with Super Sonic is great. It's the standard Super Sonic and space battle, but I love the design of the boss. And oh, this music. This fucking music is so good. Like I can never get enough of this moment when Sonic
Do you own an air fryer? Okay, that's kind of raw.
But I have to waste all of my fucking time on those stupid special rings.
Bam, 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 bam. Also, I can say this clearly: you don't own an air fryer.
The shiny MacGuffins I can get in Sonic 1, eventually Sonic 2, and Sonic 3.
Come on, man. You know that if you put your mind to it, you can get it done. Didn't you get all of the gold medals in Sonic 06?
Firstly, that was only with Sonic, and secondly,
This is dude seeing. I know it's gonna take long.
Hey, buddy, what are you sitting there so?
Hey, at least I didn't travel through a linear.
Pretty good. Just this game playing is.
I'm a
They want you
broke.
to play the game a certain way
My
while
character
they
looks
play another way.
looks
And
rich,
I
but
usually love getting all the
I'm a
collectibles in the
brokey.
game, and I can't do it, and I just feel really bad about myself.
Johnny,
I should probably get these cards at some point
as
too.
long as I've known you, you've always been about Sonic. And I know that you like playing Sonic games for no matter what kind of quality they are. And truth be told, you love being Super Sonic. So I don't think you should give
50
up.
teleport
And as a completionist,
coats.
you should
Okay.
keep going to
Ah.
the very end, my man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate
Nice
it.
show
So
off.
what's the Sonic game that you're playing?
Sonic Advance 2.
Good luck,
Chap-
buddy.
I said chapter 4, channel 4.
Personally, I love Sonic Advance 2. I love it as much as Advance 1, but for different reasons. It's clearly designed with a different form of challenge. Not so much completing the stage or what pathways you can find, but how well you can keep the speed going. This Sonic Advance 2 is consistent with, and I admire that. Yeah, I mean, the graphics are as good as before. I mentioned how much
I need a new shield.
Sonic Advance 2 is a different beast, but I still have fun with it.
I was literally selling leads yesterday for almost 5
Pretty
hours.
guilty with its bottomless pits and spikes, though. I don't think to the degree of Sonic Advance 1, at least it didn't feel like that anyway. But I could go back to this one, no problem, and just have fun blast processing my way through all of the
I use
zones with
Escape
Sonic
too.
Tails,
I use
Knuckles,
Escape
Cream,
too.
or even
It's just because I'm
Eggman.
using the controller.
But you do have to get all the Chaos Emeralds with every character.
It's not really an
marker
escape
is
button on a
done.
controller.
The blue hell?
Or enter
Fuck
button.
that. Let's move on to Advance 3.
Ah, yes, Sonic Advance 3, the last of the trilogy, released in 2004. And this one actually has a little more story. Dr. Eggman has managed to gather all of the Chaos Emeralds, and he uses the power to split the world into different zones.
What, like in Sonic Unleashed?
Basically, you can get an app called Anti-Micro, and then you just link every keyboard to your controller.
Gemerald, I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
Let me jump in here real quick. Some of you are wondering if I will cover Sonic Battle before talking about Sonic Advance 3, as Sonic Battle is tied to Advance 3's plot. And I get that, but I don't think it's important to Advance 3 individually. I mean, you'd get that Gemerald, or Gemerald, however you call it, is a rebuilt
Fix your posture.
Battle, the robot that could evolve its techniques by observing other characters.
I don't have to hunchback gremlin mode while playing or get carpal tunnel.
More story driven than the other two Advance games. And playing
The
Sonic
controller I
Battle
use is called the 8-bit Doe.
heartwarming,
8-bit do?
That's it.
8-bit
Aside from
do.
It's just another standard stop Dr. Eggman plot, with General being no different than this week's Metal Sonic.
You know, this opening segment reminds me a lot of Sonic X, which was a thing at the time. Actually, Johnny, did you ever watch that?
Yeah, I did. Didn't really like it.
Well, convenient for you, I happen to have one of the Game Boy Advance video cartridges of Sonic X. You remember these things?
Holy shit, yeah. I'll pop one of those in.
Gotta go fast. Gotta go fast.
A time before smartphones and streaming
So
services.
crusty.
It was a concept ahead of its time, but
I thought you said we were doing Chow. You ain't even here.
Here's the part where Sonic says
Oh, it's
something
channel
funny.
2.
If you can push it before I grab it.
oh, for God's sake, start it off.
I like to think Sonic Advance 3 is the most ambitious of the
Alright,
Advance
finally.
games. Besides bringing back all
Get out!
the first 2 Advance games, there are now 3 acts to every zone as opposed to 2. The stages are a bit longer, so there's more to do and more to see.
You
And
take
perhaps
us.
the most defining aspect of it, the team up mechanic. In Advance 3, you are in control of 2 characters at all times. And though you only start out with Sonic and Tails at first, you will soon unlock the rest of the cast as you go along. With your partner, you can press and hold the R trigger to perform tag actions, depending on the partner that you choose. With Tails, it could be a super high jump that's great for exploring, or a major boost of speed.
My face is messing
There's
up.
a lot of combinations to behold in Advance 3, giving it a healthy amount of replayability, which I am certain is something that you can appreciate, right, Johnny?
What? Who's fighting Chow?
I mean, it's not as fast as Sonic Advance 2, bringing platforming back as the main focus, and it does away with some of the more
Ow.
conventional
How could this
Sonic
possibly
tropes
be?
for the sake of freshness. For
Who is
instance,
fighting
the first
Chow?
zone isn't Green Hill version 3.0, but rather a city level, kinda like Sonic Adventure 2. And does anybody get vibes of Dynamite Heady when going through Toy Kingdom? No? Just me? Yeah, of course. I think the new level tropes lead to some of the most interesting level design we've seen in a Sonic Advance game yet. What about you, Johnny?
Are you out of your fucking mind? This shit is the worst.
Wait, what?
Okay, I'll give you that the team up mechanic is a great idea. The best thing about this game, bar none. But I hate that with certain combinations, individual abilities are affected as well.
Why is that a C reaction?
With Knuckles, Tails can't fly anymore by himself. He just does this awkward glide. And when Knuckles is paired with, say, Sonic, he can't glide.
No.
He just does this headbutt attack that's pretty useless, all things considered.
Did that take too long? Sorry.
Combination. The team attacks are fun to use. I love the super jump I get when paired with Tails. And Knuckles paired up with Tails is just fun to abuse. Sonic
I need more NX.
But what does any of that mean with some of the worst level design I've ever seen in a Sonic game?
Whoa, okay.
Man, I'm not fucking kidding. This game wants to skewer you with spikes, get crushed all the fucking time, and have you run into some of the most horrible enemy formations I haven't seen since Mega Man in Base. And this is all within the first fucking zone. I don't give a shit if it's not Green Hill 3.0 or whatever. Route 99 is a horribly designed first zone of the game, and it doesn't get much better for me. You say the game brings back more platform into the mix, and that's true, but what did they do to the controls? The acceleration is through the fucking roof in this game. You go from 0 to 100 in less
Those
than a
are like,
second. Shit
what,
like that means
15 mil, 12 mil?
on tiny platforms, which yes, this game has you do many times. And then there's this shit, Hub Worlds, in a 2D game. Why? When they had it down pat in the first 2 games. Is it because of these optional bonus games for live? Sonic 3 handled that pretty well with the checkpoint system. Granted, hunting for the next stage is not the end of the world. It's just not needed. It's padding. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. And just humor me. How were the special stages handled in this game?
Well, I'm sure you noticed the chow that is sporadically placed in every stage.
Yeah.
Well, you have to collect all 10 chow in a zone.
Oh, fucking fantastic.
But not only that, you also need to collect the special key hidden in the zone.
Apple
After
Chow?
those chow.
Damn, you really want him to die.
You simply fly in the tornado and collect rings.
Just no thank you.
To be fair, unlike the special rings in Sonic Advance 2, once you collect a chow, you have it for good. You don't have to get them all in one life, and once you have the special key, trying the special stage is as easy as jumping on this spring and going for it. If you fail, just jump on the spring again and give it another shot. I do agree that this system isn't very fun, but I do think it is an improvement over what Advance 2 offers.
Which I think would mean more if this level design wasn't so shit. This game doesn't believe in high rank counts, and some areas are completely blocked off unless you have a certain team combination, so that's pretty limiting. And the control, man, that's so important to me. They managed to fuck that up. Fuck this, man. Fuck this. I didn't turn on
That was a little. You need to calm down a bit there, buddy.
Don't touch my audio effects.
Come on, man. Advance 3 isn't that bad.
Look, I know of a few that think of this as the best of the bunch, and I know there are plenty of you watching right now that probably love this game, and I hope you continue to enjoy it. I won't give you shit for liking something you honest to God find enjoyment from. That's not who I am and never will be. But this game, team-up mechanics aside, is completely backwards from what we got from Advance 1 and Advance 2. This doesn't do it for me.
I'm willing to go a little easier on it. I still think Advance 2 is better, but like I said, Advance 3 was ambitious, and I just appreciate the attempt that was made. And not even for the reasons already discussed. I mean the boss fights too. These are some really cool designs that I think genuinely, not unintentionally, challenge the player to use their tag actions to the best of their knowledge. And come on now, who doesn't like the idea of Sonic and Eddie?
Oh, I need one more Chow card.
Final boss at the end of the game.
I mean, Adventure 2 sort of did that already, so...
For God's sakes, can you be just a little bit nice to this game?
Well, I didn't really like it, so no. Advance 1 and 2 are way better.
Well, sure, but Advance 3 has the cool team-up mechanics.
So, I can actually play Advance 1 and 2.
I'm sure there are genuinely a lot of people that enjoy this game.
And I don't doubt that. But I bet you the number of Advance 1 and 2 fans outweigh the number of Advance 3 fans. In fact, we can
Get that max charge.
I'm sorry, what?
Before I began working on this video, I told everyone on my Twitter page that I'd be collecting opinions on the Sonic Advance trilogy at this year's MagFest, Music and Gaming Festival, celebrating the Castlevania franchise this year. Though the only sort of Castlevania representation I saw was someone playing Castlevania 1 on a projection screen, the number of people that showed up to voice their opinion on the Sonic Advance series was a healthy amount.
To be honest, I didn't play 2, but I did play quite a bit of 1 and 3. I liked 1 a bit more. I think that because it didn't have gimmicks like the partner system, it stuck closer to what you expect out of a traditional Sonic side-scroller, and it mostly pulled it off well.
My favorite Sonic Advance game would have to be Sonic Advance 2. The sense of speed is amazing.
My favorite Sonic Advance game is probably the first one.
It would have to be Sonic 2, Sonic Advance 2.
Sonic 2 on the Genesis.
Sonic Advance 1. Never travel without it. Sonic Advance.
Damn, that guy got it on the hand. What the hell?
Advance has got to be Sonic Advance 3.
Sonic 2. So it has to be a Sonic Advance. Sonic Advance.
Sonic Advance 3. I love how it works. Like,
Yo, that dude's glasses are sick. What the fuck?
I'd have to say that my favorite Sonic Advance game is the first one.
so I know a lot of Sonic.
Big ass Sonic eyes.
SA3 for so many years now, but I mean, when we really think about it, SA3, the definitive version, came out in 2004. Sonic Advance 3 is definitely one of my favorites because you can play as, dynamic duos, Sonic and Tails, Sonic and Knuckles, Sonic and Amy, and Amy.
Chaos Emeralds. In the Chaos Emeralds. My least favorite thing was the way Chaos Emeralds were handled.
The bonus stages in Advance 1 are hell.
Finding the Chow in Sonic Advance 3, that sucked. A little bit of stuff I'll admit.
Finding the Chow. We're fighting someone named Chow too.
Collecting in 3, but the special rings in 2 are close second.
Yo, I gotta vote after this. I've been slacking.
I think that one big rocket zone was that much fun. Free.
I just don't think. Even though you can cheese some bosses with her, I'm like.
One thing I noticed was like the screen was like too small and sometimes I would get hit by enemies that I just couldn't see.
What the fuck?
I'm really liking the music in Advance 1.
Sonic Advance 2's music playing.
I really like the music. It was really bouncy.
I really like a lot of the music, especially Sky Canyon, I believe it was.
Not just on gameplay, sprite animation. The dog is phenomenal.
Hot Crater Zone from 2. That is an amazing stage, fantastic, awesome music.
Bring the rabbit.
Knuckles. Yeah, because you can pretty much cheat and just climb almost everywhere.
It doesn't even have to do with the game itself. It's more like when I got Sonic Mega Collection and I saw the trailer for Sonic Advance 2 on there, I watched that trailer every single day and I got so obsessed with Sonic Advance 2, and the day I finally got it was like the greatest day of my life.
Aw.
Sonic 2 is better.
There you have it. Seems more people tend to favor the first 2 games over the third one.
Johnny, come on. You could have manipulated that footage as far as the viewers are concerned.
Oh, fuck you, I'm not that petty. People like what they like. Who am I to sound sad? Either way, doesn't change the fact that the Advance trilogy was responsible for introducing the Sonic franchise to a lot of gamers out there, just like Adventure 2 Battle did for the GameCube.
They all have their qualities that set them apart from the others.
Bruh.
And to some, that's what makes them good. These games really Because when you think about it, like Johnny, you love the Genesis games, so Sonic Advance 1 hits that sweet spot for you. Those
Right,
that think Sonic
right.
should be super fast have Sonic Advance 2 to look forward to. And those that love the multi-character dynamic and production values of the early 3D Sonic games have Sonic Advance 3.
Yeah, I forgot. This game has voice acting. It was the last game to use the likes of Ryan Drummond as Sonic, Scott Dreyer as Knuckles, Jennifer Dolan as Amy, and Dean Bristow as Dr. Eggman, who unfortunately passed away shortly after this game was released. In that essence, it's nostalgic. I'll give the game that. And this song you're hearing right now, the Sonic Advance 3 credits music, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
And there you go. I knew you could say something nice about this game.
I did say I enjoyed the team feature. I did say that, right?
Well, yeah, but now you said two good things.
Whatever. You think people will think worse of me after this video?
Hey man, you survived giving Sonic Adventure 2 a lashing years ago. If you got through that, I think you'll be just fine.
I just don't want people thinking I actually hate Fucker, you know?
Look, there are always going to be those fans that you simply cannot please. And you know what? Screw them. You are your own Sonic fan, and it's up to everyone else to think for themselves. If they can't, that's really just their problem.
The music works so well for this, doesn't it?
I was thinking the same exact thing. I kind of want to keep this motivational speech going just to hear the rest of it.
Well, we're out of time for today, unfortunately, but thanks again for joining me for today's video. You want to give the people an idea of what it is you do?
Sure thing. Well, first off, I want to say it is an honor to be on this channel. I have been a fan of your work for years now. It's pretty crazy. And if you're fans out there like my commentary and want to see more, well, check out my channel. I have a bunch of ROM hack videos. I'm talking about Kingdom Hearts. I have Kirby coming up really soon, and a lot more. Really, all around, I'm just a big old goofball. So come check me out.
And with that said, we're doubling the amount of screens for the next video. I'll see you guys next time with the Sonic Rush trilogy.
Wait, trilogy?
Wait, trilogy? Oh, I didn't get a bite. Thought someone would reply. I mean, I guess I can get on Owl Truth. This would be a perfect time for a bro, B is still playing R-Tail. Damn, bro, I gotta give you credit for that. It wouldn't really look good if me watching an R-Tail video. Dragon Ball's universe. Ooh, I was watching what was it called? Mary. I think it's on a different browser. Damn, I still didn't get a reply. Oh. Gonna have to bring this down real quick. Here, I'll just play some in-game music real quick. Oh. Oh, fuck. Nice. Level 200. Hey, yo. This walking by feet, walking by foot, walking by feet, walking. It's gonna take so long. This is what I get, dude. This is what I get for spending, and the lift and the thingy is not here. Oh, now it is. Oh. We got some sack action going on. That's what I'm talking about. Wait, what the? What if I just... I always imagine, like, imagine if two people, like, share an account, and it's, like, someone's, like, little brother, and then he, like, accidentally just drops, like, all of his shit. I just feel like at some point in time, that happened to someone on Maple. Someone just accidentally dropped their current equip, and they didn't know what they were doing. That reminds me when I was like a kid. My cousin had Pokemon. Was it? I think it was Pokemon Crystal. It was either Pokemon Crystal or Pokemon Gold. I deleted his whole save file. Noted he didn't know what he was doing either. I think he made it to around Erica's gym, so not really that far. Oh my god, that was such a fight. That was such a fight. I was like, new game? New game? Surely they'll have more than one save file. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Bro was in the shower. sell some stuff before I go in there. Should I just NPC this? I wasted 230s on it. Perfect attack king set with 5 slots. I don't think anyone's gonna buy that. Maybe I'll put in shop for like 1 mil. Grilled cheese. But yeah, if I'm doing bossing like this, I'm not gonna... use my controller. All right, I'm gonna be back. Be right back. I'll see you later. Oh, Echo. Hey, his boss. Got a little Zack action going on here. A little bit of Zacky Wacky. Damn. No, thank you. I always say R, but I don't really feel like I'm always R. I can never tell which arm I'm really hitting. But I don't think that really matters too much. That arm got obliterated. Oh my god. These fucking arms. These fucking arms. Maybe I should hold off on making like a fire flare grave, a flare grave. Blah. I should just stick to Dragon slash Claw. Those flare graves cost way too much. But when I think about it, they cost about the same as a perfect Dragon slash Claw. Alright, now that we're all together, no one's gonna say, side, please. Get that full charge. Punch, punch, punch. Punch, punch. Come on. It's so awkward trying to hit this dude's body. Because I don't really know where it starts. Whew. Oh, he's getting shredded. Of course. See, I did want to stream this, but there ain't much you can, talk about during a Zach run. I don't know. I guess I should get more, what's this called? Ginseng root? Because he likes the 1-1. I think that's the most efficient, potion for 1-1. I also say a lot when I'm talking. I really like to stop saying that. Oh my god, this is mega. I also don't like these mega lags. When people were smegaing during jump quests, oh, answer. I wonder what a DK is over there. I wonder. Ooh, iframes. Damn it. No, weapon cancel. Just Tears. Is that one guy that streams? Yo, Zach got melted. Any weapon canceled. Oh. What an asshole. Why are you over there? I guess for oh, don't DKs have to like keep their HP at a certain threshold? Something like that. Yo, side her up, side her up, side her up. Oh. This dude's sack. This dude's sack, man. Fuck. What are they saying? DPM? They're talking about damage or something. Did someone die? I don't even know what happened. Oh my. Oh. Caught me at the last second. Oh no. Damn. No. Ah, this shit is getting kind of tough. We must end this quickly before Zakum takes another soul. Yo. Yo, why isn't it showing up? I'm so sorry I can't see your name, but thank you so much. Thank you for the follow. Doing some daily Zach. Probably gonna blow up another hat. I don't know why my follow alerts aren't working, but I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God. Oh my god, this dude. This dude, Zach. Woo! Yo! Damn, I didn't even get a helmet? Trash, trash. Trash, trash, trash. Trash Zachem. Trash Zachem. Oh, I have two of these. Is that German? I should have got an apple. It's gonna be kind of close, but I gotta go pick up some food soon. Hopefully they don't close. Yo, I level up next arm. I level up next arm. I level up next arm. Swedish. I said German. Oh my god, I feel so ignorant. It's Swedish. Where the fuck am I? No. Come on. No! What do you even do with zero type face stompers? Do you just keep it as a keepsake? Ooh, almost died. Ooh, shit. No. You monster. Yeah, just chill there. It's like, just chill, just chill, just chill, just chill. Yeah. Yeah, he's just chilling. No. Nah, he was chilling. He was chilling. When he's just in this idle animation, just rocking back and forth. Yeah, I need that. Cause this place I'm about to go to, it closes at 6 or 5. Oh god, I'm getting wrist pain. This is why I play on a controller. This is why I play on controller, man. I'm about to do a greedy time leap. Ladder check? Yo, thanks. It's me last cider. Oh, and booster. Appreciate it. Nis? Can I call you Nis? This new Twitch interface is kind of hard to get used to. I really don't know where my notifications went. I have to fix that up after tonight. Punch, 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 punch. Barrage. Punch, punch, punch. He's gonna. I feel like he's gonna do it. He's gonna weapon cancel soon. You brute. I knew it. I went through all of my trouble to go Super Saiyan 2 and say repay me? It's me last cider. Alright, your history, Sakum. I never know if it was pronounced Sakum or Sakum. asshole. Gotta finish this fight and go grab my grub. Fastest way I know possible. Unless Sackum has anything to say about it. Oh. This part is kind of stacked, isn't it? Danger, danger. Oh! Did another weapon cancel? I hear the notification, but I cannot see who followed right now. I'm so sorry for that. But whoever did, click on that follow button. Thank you so much. I'm gonna give you a big mwah, mwah. Come here. Yeah. Trying to speed through this guy. And then once I'm done, I'm gonna go offline. It might come back on tonight. This stream. Ah! Did another weapon cancel? Bro. The joke was funny the first time. The joke was funny the first time, Sackum. You have a magic cancel, right? Yeah. But he's stalling. I'm out of all cures. Oh. He did it again. He did it again. I know, but you know, sometimes you gotta just keep that thing on you. I mean, it's good to rely on others, but sometimes they might forget, like sometimes how I forget SI. This guy. This guy. This guy. This guy. Ooh, I'm way too close to that body. Don't know how much the touch damage is, but he did it again. He did it again. Bitch, 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 bitch. Alright, one last super transformation. This should end it. You're going down! He did it again. Yeah, stop it. Stop the madness. Stop the madness. Oh. I'm gonna get that second gem. Bruh. Keep losing my rules. $19? Not bad. $62. A. Ugh. All right, I have to go pick up some grub and fix my face, because why is my face doing this? Why is my face doing this? There you go. I need to go pick up some grub before they close down, and you'll be like, oh, you didn't make it. You never made it. You're too slow. You're too slow. Like last time, and I'm gonna get stranded without food, and I'm gonna have Maple with no food. But yeah, I actually want this to be a longer stream, but maybe get some Crexel and some 7F. I'm still gonna be online, but I'm just gonna AFK for a bit. Can I sit here? I can. Nice. Alright. Don't know if anyone has a tab open or anything, but I always appreciate you guys watching, especially me, who's super new at this. Still trying to get to 150 by the end of the week. I'm gonna see how that goes. Maybe I should have scrolled on stream so you guys could see me go insane from blowing up a bunch of flare graves. But that's besides the point. I gotta go get food. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm gonna head out now.